Welcome back. I should start off with saying I made a little oopsie yesterday. As you can tell, all of the corner work, up and down and above, it's done. I'm pretty sure I hit record yesterday, but I guess something happened to the video. It didn't save, or maybe I didn't hit record like I thought I did. I don't know. But anyway, I don't have that video after all the work that I had done getting those corner areas taken care of. So, yeah. The only thing left to do now is to fan all of this out. I had noticed this morning too, in a couple of sections, like 4 sections, where I had taped around the ceiling, there are some cracks in the tape in the center, because you know when you're in the corner you have to fold that paper in half. I don't think it has anything to do with the structure of the drywall. I think all of that's intact. I don't think it's split. It may have been where I ran over with the knife while I was mudding. Maybe I pressed a little too hard in those areas and it just caused it to split in those spots, because it's just in those, they're like 2-inch sections, like 1, 2, 3, 4 spots just in this corner over here where the tape is split. I don't think it's going to cause any issue, but when I go back to fan everything, I'm sure once it's mudded over, it's not going to cause any future problems, at least I hope. But being that it's that small, maybe if they did have to make a repair, it won't be that big. Time will tell. We'll find out. So I've been debating how I want to tackle this, just because when I know if I go to start fanning this out, you know, making it wider beyond where the joints are, just trying to, you know, fan everything out and smooth everything down and make it level and not look humpy or anything in the walls. I think it may be best to like either choose to do the horizontals or the verticals first, let that cure for a night, then go back and do the horizontals or the verticals later. That way, if you're mudding in one direction, you've got that fanned out, and then since it's still wet and you go back and you mud in the next direction, all you're going to do is smear the part that you just fanned out before. So I think it would be best just to do one section straight up and down and come back the next day and then go across those intersections. So I believe that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the ceiling, and I've got a birthday party to go to today, so I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to get done. Whether I need to go ahead and just start doing the bigger parts first, just run straight down, smooth all that out, and come back tomorrow and do basically what is one line going that way. So I got 2 of those streets done in 1 hour. And I gotta say, I'm not gonna do the 3rd one today. And you can call me a wimp if you want to. Looking up like this and doing like this was really starting to wear out my neck. I'm done with that today. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is do this middle section, this horizontal line right across here. I know I said I was gonna do the verticals, but not only am I running out of time, I'm also running out of patience. And I needed to stop doing that before I made even more mistakes, because I just learned something, that every hole that I cut has some debris left behind, to where every time I go over mudding, I pick up some of that debris and leave streaks running through the mud behind me, and I'm constantly having to go back and try to fill in those streaks and then finish doing that section. And what I wanted to do is only try to have to mud this once, and I think so far I'm able to do that. On the ceiling, there's not really that much of a gap from where I mudded, so I think I did pretty well with that. The wall, on the other hand, I know there's going to be a bit of a hump there that's really going to have to be feathered out compared to the ceiling. So I'm going to go ahead and do this section and then get cleaned up and ready for this party. So, yeah, I frustrated myself a little bit. I'll get back to that. I know I'm going against what I said earlier. But I figure if I go ahead, this one line through the middle should not take me an hour to do compared to looking overhead and everything. So, yeah, let me go ahead and get that done right quick. Ta-da! Well, I guess I did a thing. I noticed that there's not much of a hump left behind as I thought there was going to. As I was going along, I really couldn't see any gaps, and after all the stuff dries, I'll have a better look to see if there's any light showing in between the blade. But so far, I check every little bit as I went along, and there's no gap. So maybe I didn't do as bad as I thought I did. And if that's the case, this is going to go along a lot faster than what I thought it might. Because I had a lot of apprehension, and I was hesitant to do this part, but it needs to be done and get it over with, and so we can move on to the next thing. So I tried to skim along as best as I could to leave as little amount of mud behind so that I wouldn't kill myself sanding everything down. Because, well, I'm not really going to do all this by hand. Of course, in the corners, I'll go through with a sanding block and stuff like that. Because just going with the sander is just not going to get it as good as going through with a sanding block in your hand. But I did buy me a drywall sander to help speed up the process and get it done. And I'll probably do an unboxing of that towards the end of the week or whenever I finish getting all of this mudded in. Just so I can show you what I got, and hopefully it'll do the job without any issue. That's going to be it. I'm going to go wash up. Oh, I will say this as well. I did run across some more trash, some garbage, as I was mudding. I guess that's just something you're going to deal with as you're going through this. I mean, every once in a while I pick up some particulate and then score a line through my mud, and so I guess it's just something that you have to fight with. But it did go a lot faster than trying to tackle that ceiling for sure. So tomorrow I get my button gear and do that last bit there and tackle some of this around here. And the next couple of days we should have this finished up and ready to be sanded and finally move on to painting. So that's it. Gonna go get cleaned up, get these cleaned up, and ready to go again tomorrow. And I'll see you then.